Big Mike, what do you make of that press conference? It was absolutely wild. John Fury flipping the table.
John Fury is the man. He's one of the GOATs of the boxing scene and now one of the greatest promoters of the influencer boxing scene as well. John Fury, I'm a fan of yours, and just an absolutely incredible show. He kind of stole the show, which some people are talking about on Twitter. Did he go too far? Did he make it too much about John Fury and the Fury name? Maybe, but I thought it was incredible. I thought it was very impressive work by Mr. Fury.
What have you made of Dillon's social media attack on Logan for the past couple of weeks? It's been pretty crazy to see, and everyone was a bit apprehensive as to how they were going to interact on stage. Just as a friend of Logan's, what have you made of it?
Dillon is an incredible promoter, incredible Twitter promoter. There's no other way to put it. You can't, there's no mistake in saying that. But I think I think this has been disgusting. I think it's been utterly reprehensible. There's a way to promote a fight. There's a way to even go about bringing family members or girlfriends into it. But a eternal, non-ending, relentless attack on another human who has a brand, who has feelings, who's a person, who's a human, who's made mistakes, like all of us have, I think is disgusting. I think it's gone way too far. As a person who's made a ton of mistakes in their past, the industry and people in the space have been very understanding and forgiving for me in my past, and have given me the blessing of another opportunity at life. And it's just, whether they were mistakes she made or if it's just lies and just pictures of her with fans, I don't know. It's not my decision to make, but I think it's disgusting. I don't think you take advantage of someone else's misfortune like that, or judgments from the past for this long, this many times to promote a fight that you're not even going to show up to. I think it's disgusting.
It's very clear that Logan is a composed individual under the bright lights, under the pressure. He's shown it in boxing, WWE. I'm sure he'll show it in the MMA world at some point. But with composure, you have to sort of neglect anger. You have to get that feeling out of your head when it comes fight day, when you have to perform. Do you think he will be able to do that in this fight, given everything that's happened in the build-up so far? And we've still got another month to go until the fight actually happens.
I think you saw it today. I mean, he showed up. He was cool, composed, even in the thick of all of it, even with, some of this really nasty stuff that's happened in the past 2 weeks. He was able to switch gears, show up, talk his talk, bring his props, make it fun, make it entertaining, and stay focused on what's going to happen here. I mean, the thing about Dillon is this, and by the way, this isn't a shot at Dillon. It's just the general sentiment of the entire fight community. He's not going to show up to this fight. He's not going to show up to this fight. He's going to show up to the pressers. He's going to show up to Twitter every single day. He's going to make a whole bunch of money on Twitter and Instagram and however else he makes money off this fight. But he's not going to show up to this fight. That's just the fact of the matter. And if he does show up to the fight, it's only going to go one way. There's no world, there's no imaginative universe where he shows up and knocks Logan out or even wins by points. It's just humanly impossible. If it was a grappling match, jiu-jitsu, something like that, completely different story. I'll give him his flowers. He's an incredible hand-to-hand combat grappler, whatever you want to call it, right? World champion. But as far as striking is concerned, as far as showing up to these type of fights are concerned, he's not going to show up. He's not going to show up. Like, hard stop, end of sentence.
What do you think of Conor McGregor looming over these fights as well? He called out KSI. He's obviously a friend of Dillon. That would be absolutely insane if he turns up ringside on the fight night. Do you think he's going to be there? I'm
not going to comment on Conor McGregor. I don't have the latitude to comment on Conor McGregor. He's I don't. That's the thing. I've always been very careful in this sport or in this new arena to comment on things that are that far out of my realm, when it comes to Canelo and Jake or Conor and Jake. Like, these are some of the greats of combat sports, and I'm not gonna even comment on it. Like, yeah, it'd be awesome if he shows up to the fight. It'd be awesome if he promotes the fight. But I mean, Conor's one of the greatest, at least one of the greatest entertainers, if not one of the greatest, UFC athletes of all time. And so, like, to even have him involved in the conversation, I think is a blessing for the entirety of the space.
Impaulsive is one of my favorite podcasts. I absolutely love your vibe to it as well. Everything you bring. The Raka Raka one was absolutely
Incredible.
awesome. The film really shit me up, and the bit that shit you up with the sort of purgatory bit, that's been ingrained in my brain ever since. Just tying that into, you know, one of those brothers, he fought on the original KSI Logan Paul card. That's coinciding this week with this press conference, the Prime press conference. I mean, the YouTube scene is absolutely booming. For yourself to be a part of that, you were at the Sundance premiere for Talk to Me as well. Just you being a whole part of this journey for your friends, how is that for yourself?
It's been incredible. It's awesome just to watch everybody and you know, to be able to have touch points outside of the space. I think that is what separates certain creators from other creators. What do your touch points look like? You know, did you put out a best-selling book like The Fifth Vital? Did you make a movie that got into Sundance? Did you start an entire push to, you know, bring boxing to the influencer realm? And you know, what creator has been able to do has been just such a beautiful thing to not only be a part of, but just to watch and to just see. I think for years a lot of people were written off and looked at as, you know, TikTokers or Instagrammers or Snapchatters, and what we've been able to accomplish has been really incredible. And obviously Logan and JJ with Prime, you know, being kind of the cherry on top. They will be the first, you know, multi-billion-dollar exit in this arena, which is just insane to think about what this has become, all starting from, you know, 6-second videos and reaction videos on YouTube and Vine. So it's incredible.
And from your perspective yourself, just in terms of how much your life has changed in the past like decade or so, you know, you've gone on record numerous times in saying that. Are these pinch yourself moments every day? I'm not even going to mention every week, every year now. Is it every day a pinch yourself moment?
I don't have time to. I've been bragging / blessed to say that I'm by far the most traveled creator right now. I'm on a flight every day. I literally am country to country by the minute. Landed here this morning, haven't slept. I'm running off of 2 hours of sleep. I'm 38 years old. I'm too old for this shit. I'm too beat up for this shit. But it's I think at some point I will have a moment to reflect and to look back at this trail of not only chaos but just of beauty, of interviews with Mike Tyson and you know and Kevin Hart and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you know, all the countries that we've been to, all the foods that we've eaten, all the people that we've met, and you know, nights out with Dave Chappelle, and the respect that we've been given from the community outside of YouTube. And it's been wild, but I just haven't had a chance to reflect on it just yet.
Final one, the last podcast you had with Jake Paul, it got mega awkward. It got really awkward. Do you see whatever, I mean, brothers, siblings, they're going to have their little tiffs, they're going to have their little arguments all the time, and especially guys as competitive as them two. So from my perspective as a viewer, I'm guessing that it was perceived by the public in a way that was a lot more blown up than what it is. I'm guessing off camera, they have those sorts of conversations more often than not, or was that out of the ordinary for yourself?
I think there's just a lot. I think there's a lot of factors there. Like people will be looking in from the outside and say, like, that's not how brothers are supposed to act. You know, like, that's not how they're supposed to treat each other. Logan was in the wrong, you know, this and that. Which one of your brothers are you, you know, going up against on a multi-billion-dollar beverage battle? Which one of your brothers are you, you know, fighting on a card, you know, versus other world-class athletes? Like I'm not making excuses. I'm not justifying any of this or that. All I'm saying is one of the things that the public does more than anything else when they watch all of this stuff that we do is they make these very simple misconceptions and very simple assumptions about how life is, and 99.9% of the time they're drastically incorrect, and there would be no way for them to understand it because they don't live in this space. They're watching from a window that shows just a small cross section of what actually happens. And so, I mean, yeah, it was awkward. It was pretty ugly. There were, you know, I mean, if you watch it, you see I sided more in that argument with Jake. I mean, I was pretty, you know, pretty one-sided on that. But you know, once again, it's not my relationship either. They had a conversation after, and I don't know what was said. So, but hey, that's the art of having a podcast like ours. We show you everything. We cut nothing. You got to see a real raw and vulnerable moment. We've done that a number of times, and it's bitten us in the ass a number of times, but we're going to keep putting out whatever we shoot. So if anything, you got to say at least we're transparent.
Awesome, man. Really appreciate the time.